What's up, everybody? Let me see who is here. Make sure you can see me and hear me. And there's not a weird echo or nothing. Let me see where we're at. Nothing yet on YouTube side. And looks like we're good to go. All right, let me get situated here. I'm running a little late. Let me see who's here. Lucky on Three Legs, Kevin, Dapper Fanatic, Positive Outcome, RJ Funky Finds, finally able to catch a live. Mr. Information in Hand. Very nice. Select Goods, my boy. Let me see, more people coming in. And man, I am super behind. Growing out the hair, trying to grow out the hair again, yeah. A little puffy today. I was just organizing a bunch of inventory. You know how that goes. It gets a little, I don't know, overwhelming at some point. There's like, especially the hat side, there's just like a ton of hats. And I'm trying to sell, obviously, on Whatnot way more because I have a ton of them. Rory Matt, what's up? Sneaker Flip Find. There's no Ken the Hustlebee today. In case you're wondering where he is, he's having a fabulous time at the what is it called? List Perfectly Camp. What is that thing called? You know what he is. Sellers Summit thing. Caroline, what's up? Zach, very nice. Vegas Valet, Diet Again, Rory Matt. Dye your hair bleach blonde for Ken and Barbie. Let me see. Yeah, Camp listing it up. So he's Armand, what's up? So he's out there in Phoenix. Right now in El Paso, it's like blistering hot. So I don't know what it is in Phoenix. That little bee is probably sweating. Danny, what's up? But today's episode, live show, is top 5 problems resellers face today. So a very interesting show. Be giving people master classes right now, dropping some gems. You know how this guy is. He loves to talk. He loves to mingle. That's what he does the best. So he's out there. Let me see. We're also going to go through the finds first. And also talk about USPS changes, which apparently we already knew about this change. But now that it's coming into play July 9th, people are talking about it more and wondering what's going on. So let's start off with that. And then we'll get into the finds. We'll get into the topic. Here we go. USPS, new ground shipping service. Ground Advantage is what they're calling this. Ben, what's up? Rory, Matt. Oh, we're going to talk about sales for sure. So beginning July 9th, USPS is combining everything from retail ground, first class, and parcel select ground into one single service, calling it USPS Ground Advantage. So that's a new name for that. And if UPS goes on strike, and hey, USPS might find more business than they actually want, they might get overwhelmed if something happens. We actually have UPS drivers and workers already like outside, have signs, they're on strike. And I think they have until July 30th or something. I don't know what's going to happen there. They want to say they're better than UPS ground, says Rory Matt. Manny Fresh, what's up? Sneaker Pickers. Danny's saying we have to go back and change shipping options, right? So we're going to talk about that. So we'll update labels automatically. Remember, this starts July 9th, which is coming up pretty quick. If you had a sale with first class package or parcel select ground, the label will print and display as UPS or USPS Ground Advantage. So the thing here is this: only first class package services are moving to Ground Advantage. First class mail for letters and envelopes will remain unchanged, and you will have to go back and I guess update that if you're doing anything regarding, like, especially the I thought media was part of this. Retail ground, parcel select ground, like all these things that if you use that, you're gonna have to go back and change it on your listings. Um, select goods, I like that. Are they in strike because of the heat, Caroline? Yeah, I don't know why they're out there. Richard. I think they're I think they have like a union, and they have like a contracting every 5 years or so. So I believe they're trying to work out a new deal. Um, I'd be on strike if I had to deliver in El Paso 106 heat today. Yeah, that's wild. Imagine Arizona, Phoenix. That's wild. So you have to go back and change that. I guess it would handle, you know what, clothing sellers, depends what they use. I think media mail, more like CDs, games, things like that. Um, but for the most part, I think we're good to go when it comes to a lot of the first class stuff that we already do anyway. Swoop man, what's up? Unless I'm wrong, but that's what I thought. And more than likely, yes, prices will go up eventually too once Q4 starts rolling around, which they normally do that. So, all right, let me get this out of the way, and let's go to fines real quick. And man, what is going on here? Here, share this tab instead. Okay. Going with the fines, and fines have been a little dry, at least in my area that I've seen. I did find these. Here we go. Smash or pass on the Jalen Hurts jerseys on the Eagles. Now, yesterday and today I did find more of these. I know I made a video, I found a couple. Now I'm starting to find way more, but I'm not finding like Mahomes. I did find the Devontae Adams, the Packers one, and I didn't see any other players. So those are the only players I've ran across right now. Let me see. Pass. Ooh, Dapper Fanatic. Pass. No reselling those jerseys. I don't know how. I've been passing. I did find the Mahomes jersey today. Lucky and 3 legs. Retrospective gear. People that are just coming in. I know we're at 50 people now. The B will not be showing up. He's at a conference. But he is going to, you know what, next Wednesday, he's going to share what, I guess what resellers are going through right now, and what are the stuff that he learned at the conference. So I did talk to him today. He'll be ready to go next Wednesday. I found the Mahomes at Ross Joe Battle. Very nice, swoop man. I found the Mahomes Hurts. They both got no value to sell. Rory Matt. Only big sizes in my area. DJ. Okay, interesting. I mean, we're not even in football season right now. Football's gonna start. We still got 70 days. Yes, I've been counting down. I miss football. It's different. And you know what? There's nothing really even going on. There's no NBA. I mean, I guess Summer League. But it's at a weird stage. How much profit do you make on the jersey? So these are, I believe, $40. So they're $39. Yeah, $39. So, I mean, I think they do retail at $120. They are the game. They're not sewn. They're not elite. They're the screen printed. So, I mean, if you could sell at $90, that'd be great. More than likely, they'll go lower than that, especially if they're a flood. So, I mean, maybe when football season starts, but keep in mind, Hurts just signed that mega deal. He's going to be with the Eagles for a long time. So, I mean, if you're in no rush, football hasn't even started, like I said. And trust me, NFL is like a totally different level when it comes to NBA, MLB. I remember what jerseys I had last year, they went quick. I mean, eBay, people are just constantly trying to find jerseys, especially when their team starts winning, jump on that bandwagon. But NBA is just a weird thing to where, obviously we've seen that with Mitchell and Ness. Mahomes is worth picking up. At least they won Super Bowl. Anything Chiefs, Mahomes, Kelsey, anything like, I mean, you got to pick them up. All right, here we go. Let's see what else we're looking at. A nice little cart for right there. Sneaker flip find. Kyrie's 95s. How much are the 95s? $40. And the 270, $40. There we go. All right, let me see. TJ Maxx, interesting. Eddie Things, $70 on the Air Max 90. And triple black on, is this the kids? It is kids. 40. TJ Maxx Hirachi. Here's the thing with Nike, man. Baker brand, what's up? You know what? All of the Crater, recycled, they are just not moving. Outlets full of them. Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx. I think we're going to see a lot more just like this. But the outlets are just, they're full of these Crater recycled stuff. Man, 25. And 25, yeah, a lot of the Adidas Ultra Boost, things like that, also down to $25. I didn't see anything that cool, though, in my area. Tribe Called Steels, 37. And I think we had some of the, they were saying Ultra Boost. Hey, Jordans right here, 70. There we go, Ultra Boost, 25. Let me see. My last year inventory moving now all day. There we go, Danny. A lot of the flood stuff is over. You know what I can't move? I know it's like random. And it's not Halloween, anywhere near Halloween. Those Friday the 13th Vans. And I've seen some people post on here, on IG, that they've sold them for like great money. I cannot move them. And I have like at least one of each size. Let's see, Harden. 25. Man, a lot of the Adidas, I guess they're just going with the 25. Same price as Fila's. Jerry Stackhouse. Man, 30. 40 on these. How do these cost more than Ultra Boost? 33. I only have one pair left. Made 15 to 20 with the shining one. There we go. And 20 in the cleats. I think I have one left on the Exorcist, and I haven't sold that one. Let me see. Vic jerseys, 25. Interesting. Fitzpatrick Commanders, Mexico jerseys. These would not last here. Hey, 25 on a lot of these authentics. 150 retail, not bad at all. Manchester United on the Adidas. Duncan, 25. See, those are the prices we know and love. Burlington, come on now. Levi's on the jacket. And let's talk about these. Michigan State. I thought someone posted these recently on here. There we go. I did not find the Duke one, though. They are 25 each. I would love to find you in UNC. College on the shorts. Yeah, flooded Michigan right now. Looks like a ton of those. Mitchell and Ness shorts. This is Ross, the Miami Heat, and there's a Hurts jersey again. So, let me see. You got Magic Johnson, Tatum, Juwan Howard. So, if you go back, let me see. Magic Johnson did not wear 33 on Michigan State. But I didn't see any of the other ones. I haven't seen any other ones. Found those Adidas authentic. They're fire. Watson. Oh, man. Watson jersey. I don't think anybody wants anything to do with him right now. Draymond and the Kyrie. Pass on the Michigan jersey. Wish there were more. I'm in clearance phase right now. We're getting ready for Q4. I like that, Danny. Let me see. PG6, what the showing up? How many of them? Look at 3 right here. What's the price? 55. Richard. This is crazy that these are here. Nike and the fast fit on the golf. Tyreek, but with Chiefs. Wore the Watson to massage envy. Didn't let me in. Sneaker flip fine. I like that. 35. More golf. And Marshalls. $80. Come on now. And, man, more of these. On the college. Jordans, though. You're the Tiger. $100. I don't know what size, though. Lost Fines 23. 100. Let me see. Glenn going solo with Ken still camping. Yes, sir. Ultra Boost. And at least some good Ultra Boost, too. Noco Flips. Vans. And the Gore-Tex Vans. More cleats on the football. Eddie Things. Cleats Day at Burlington. React. Vans Boots. So what is going on with Nike Outlet? Anybody been making the trips? Gonna go this weekend? What's gonna happen? Any 4th of July stuff? Maybe before, maybe after, maybe tomorrow. Air Force One Shadow, man, 25. Sourcing code. Jordan Tees, Trophy Room, and hoodies. Heard it's been dry. Vans Boots Money. Found the Jordans in a size 16, Vegas Valet. Let me see. All right, more people coming in. Richard. Suede Grant Hills. Kind of like a Knicks colorway. Oh, there we go. Knicks 1 of 1. PSG. Insane. How much are those? I think we only found a couple at Ross. More What the PG showing up. ACG on the Hirachi boot, 65. 4.5 though. There's the Mahomes. We just talked about that earlier. Richard found 2 of them. Let me see. Nike Outlet just picking up Tex Fleece pants right now at 35. And Steph Curry. And easy money on these cleats, 25. All right, move this out of the way. Let's talk about sales. Let me type this in real quick. Oh man, I forgot I had all last show stuff on here. Okay, how are sales? Let me see in the chat what's going on. How are sales right now? I can tell you that summer slowdown, yes and no. Last month definitely was better. No, wait, this month was better than last month, but the last week or so have been a little iffy, especially the last 2 days, very low. Today, yesterday, day before that, definitely lower on sales. I think a lot of people going out of town, 4th of July showing up, coming up quick. So I think a lot of people are preparing for going out of town and doing all of that. So right now is like peak summer season where sales might slow down a little bit. Maybe want to start clearing some stuff out, like Danny said. But this month was still better than last month. So as long as we keep growing, now going into July, got to keep those sales coming. So right now I'm also listing a lot more women's. And I think that's also not helping me on the numbers because women's, even if it's Air Force One lows, Metcons, I've been doing a lot of that kind of stuff. They're just not selling as quickly as any men's shoe. Because men's shoes daily, you get random Pegasus sell, Metcon sell, a lot of these bricks. But women's, it's definitely a little bit slower. Let me see. Sales are cranking. There we go. Mo's been steady. Positive outcome. Met up someone locally for a sale. Intramorph. eBay been fire with that coupon going on. Very nice. Sales steady for summer slowdown. Yeah, they've been pretty good for it being summer. I can't complain about that. Much slower than last week for sure. After the 4th, it's gonna start to pick up. Yeah, I can see that too. I think some of especially the families, they're already out of town. I have 4 friends right now. Their families are already places right now. So right now it's kind of like peak vacation time. Makes sense. Last week was slow. Picked up 2 days ago. More inflatable pulls to my inventory so summer can keep sales steady. There we go. Women's on cloud. Easy money. Vegas Valet. I'm running a sale in my store for 2 weeks. It has helped a lot. Select goods. Yeah, eBay likes that. Running some sales, some promotions, and going through your listings, double checking some stuff. Currently on vacation as well, so it might affect sales. So there goes select goods. Are the college basketball jerseys automatic pickups for you? No. Um, Especially the Michigan State ones. I think there's too many out there. The Duke one I've not found. The Duke one, even the I didn't see what other ones were out there, but I would just try to find some one-off ones that aren't as flooded, and those might be worth kind of risking it. But even college basketball, we're not even there in that season either. So also sales might pick up down the road. May and June were my best months of the year. June barely beating May. Gregory right now. All right, let me remove this. Go to my banner and remove this. Okay, so why am I orange? Is that a little bit better? Okay. And also random news too. Me and Ken are doing something with eBay, and I'm pretty excited about that. I might have to take this banner thing down behind me if I'm doing eBay stuff. But I am excited to where I think we should get a lot of feedback coming from the community and maybe some things that we want to see, some questions we need to ask, and maybe some things that we can improve on. And trust me, they really want feedback. So that's something that me and Ken are probably going to be working on very soon so that we can, you know, all the notes we need or anything else that we need to ask or find out what we can do to improve the platform. They're all for it. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Okay, main topic. Let me take this off. Okay, top 5 problems resellers face today. Now they're not in a certain order. We're just gonna go one by one. We're gonna have a nice little discussion. Chat will be here. Decided out hustled yet? Not yet. But I know Ken wants to get something done. Actually, even doing something with eBay is gonna be my first trip in a long time. I'm taking it super slow, obviously with the baby, and eventually I'll be out there again. Seems like there's a lot of feedback they've been ignoring for years. Introvert. And select goods eBay greater than whatnot. There we go. Okay, here's the first one. This is more eBay related, actually. Let me type it in. Remember, they're not in order. There's not one of them's not better than the other. So top 5 problems resellers face today. Number 1, cancellations. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it seems like there's been more cancellations than ever, and I don't really know why. It seems like the same thing to where like they buy it or you accept an offer, the money already goes through, or it's a buy it now and then immediately cancellation. And other feedback that I've seen from other resellers are saying that it's happening like to a lot of items that they feel like maybe oh, it's a loophole that then will get a strike. There we go. Not too much cancellations for me, maybe for a month. Which is super weird. And as a seller, though, here's the thing I would recommend. Like, eBay is going to give it to them, right? Like, they're going to get the cancellation. It is what it is. You move on. But what you need to pay attention to is making sure you're relisting that item. You can't get a little lazy. And also double check too, do you really have 1, 2, 3, maybe more than that in stock? Because cancellations can mess up the inventory and where you're at. So every time it happens, maybe it's not happening a lot to you, but when it does, do focus on the inventory side of it. Get that up right away so you can sell it again. A new eBay seller update is supposed to handle this issue. We shall see. Buyer's remorse, eBay. Is it or is it not? That's the thing, though, because like Yaroslav said, loophole, they don't get a strike. Maybe. Buyer's remorse, maybe. Is it competition trying to get maybe certain products down? I wouldn't think so, but it could happen. What I've noticed, though, too, is that a lot of the reasons are I didn't read the size right. And I'm like, what's the rush of buying this product? Make sure you have the right size. There's no rush. It's not like it's whatnot. or it's like 10 seconds, sudden death, and I got to decide, should I get this or not? You're looking at the listing, read the listing properly, something you want, buy it now, preferred, instant payment, preferred. Also pre-selected payment, but the payment doesn't go through. Yaroslav. Yeah, that happened to me today. It hasn't happened to me too many times, but that did happen today on some cleats. A lot of people drinking and shopping under the influence. Those are those late nights, 1, 2, 3 a.m. Sales, and then wake up the next day like, why did I buy that? Oh, too bad, it's already shipped. I promote and list is on top, then they cancel the research lower in the screen. There we go, Danny. So makes a little sense right there. Okay, so cancellations one, I think that's a little bit too eBay preferred, but that's one of them. All right, next one. And top 5 problems resellers face today, at least the most common problems. Schedule and routine. Now, for the chat, do you do roughly the same thing every day? Yes or no? Now, it could be different though, because if you're a full-timer, if you're a part-timer, that might change. But I do know, we do know that people want to get away from, like if you're a full-time seller, you want to get away from the job and having a full-time job. But yet, to really make things consistently work for your business, you do have to have somewhat of a routine or schedule in place. And if you don't, and every day can be different, in certain time blocks, but I do think that there's probably like 3 key moments throughout your day that definitely have to stay the same. Maybe when it comes to the shipping part of it, customer service, listing. Also for the chat, do you make it a point to list every day? Yes or no? Let me see what the chat's saying. We'll go back into it. Browntown finds, I turn off eBay international shipping on my listings and never got any emails, good or bad. It's safe to turn them back on, including Nike products. I would still keep that same list. I've been running that list. I haven't gotten any other notices or notifications. So I think that was good to go from Sneaker Pickers. So I would probably say that. And unless we get that eBay rep on here, which I think Ken wants to bring him on for the live show. I doubt competition behind it. Oh, cancellations. How many times can they do that before the account gets in trouble? Very true. Not usually. I change my schedule daily. Need a better routine. Dapper. Now, Dapper, would you think that's because of family and other things that come into play? It sounds like you want a better routine rather than changing the schedule daily. Having things change every day is pretty exciting though. But I do think that to really, I guess, get that same momentum kind of going, you're going to have to need that like schedule and routine. Oh, Vegas Valet equals discipline. List items every day. Same bat time, same bat channel. For me, it's in the afternoon. I can't do the listings in the morning. I think because I'm trying to get to the either stores or post office early because things just get too packed. I try to list every day, but sometimes dad life kicks in. Select goods. Music blastings and movies in the background while I list and ship. Fun. There we go, Danny. D-Base says part-time. I do have a routine when I source and ship. Sometimes family, sometimes scatterbrain. Okay, Dapper. Yaroslav, I called eBay to confirm what Ken said and multiple reps were clueless and weren't sure. That sounds about right. I've been living in a hotel last 8 months while house being repaired from fire. Still get work done every day. Sneaker Pickers. Man, going on 8 months already. That's crazy. I remember when you first were telling us. I have a full-time job with rotating shifts and days off, so my sourcing varies. Whenever I pick stuff up, I list the same day. That's very nice. At least you're that discipline to get that listed every day. Um, so I think that the routine does definitely help. I think the only time for me that routine gets thrown off is when there's quite a bit of inventory that comes in and I have to um, organize it and figure out what's gonna go where. But for the most part, everything's pretty consistent on a daily routine. I think that's the only way to go, especially when you're dealing with thousands of items. Before I went full time, my actual job was very routine, very strict. I need to carry that over mindset and haven't. But I think that when you have that break and you're not in that, then that's also good because when you break away from it, it's a nice refreshing, taste from not having so strict. Us guys love routine. Spouses don't understand. Oh, there we go, Danny. Oh man. Okay, Okay, so that one's done. Number 3. Let me get this off of here. Number 3 is hobby and business difference. I don't know if we've really even talked about this. So I think there's some people that are selling as a hobby. They want to go full time. There's some people that are selling in a business and they remember the days when you did sell as a hobby and maybe you missed those days. And there's the people that are selling as a hobby but also work full time. And maybe there's the people that run a business part time and work part time. So there's different variations there. But the hobby seller, I think, is really important to really figure things out and to see if this is something that you really want to do. If you do want to jump into full-time, full-on business, there's a lot of things that come into play that you don't really think about, like the overhead for one. You're going to need help down the road. What if it keeps growing? Are you going to be hiring somebody? Do you have family members maybe to help you out? When it's hobby, it's fun because, more than likely you're doing it at home. And you don't have that overhead. You're not looking to store at a storage unit or a warehouse or a storefront. It's at home. You have your organized space for it. You can make money on the side. Maybe a little bit more if you are doing like a full-time thing. But it's really interesting to make that jump. Let me see. Does hobby another meaning for part-time? Not necessarily. Because you can be a part-time seller and run that business, and then you're also working part-time. I think a hobby is more for hey, it's kind of like a fun thing. Like I would love to be a hobby seller when I'm old and retired. Hey, I want to go to thrift a little bit. Maybe I go to Nike here and there, go to Ross, this and that, pick up some stuff, sell it. When it sells, cool, but I'm not stressed. I'm not wondering when I'm going to find something else. It's not necessarily money that I need to support the family. It's kind of like a fun hobby side thing, if that makes any sense. Intro more. Just doing this for a few bucks right now until I can find a car wash laundromat to buy. There we go. Like Gary Vee is a hobby garage sale flipper. Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's a good example. Sneaker pickers, a lot of people can't tell the difference. Don't quit job into full-time reselling. Start reselling while you're still working until it forces you to go full-time, which I 100% agree. And, I worked full-time for I guess career job one. I was there for 7 years, and of course people want to quit and go right into it. But I knew I wasn't even ready. I still that's when I had the student loans, had the car payments, had all these things. It's it does not make sense to quit a salary position and thinking you're gonna, do well on the full-time job when you have. To me, I was I haven't even proved it yet. the side money is great, but it's not covering the salary. Hobby is those guys who work tech then sell Pokemon after work so they can get more Pokemon. There you go, Rory, Matt. Also, I guess what I would say for the hobby is like if you're really into sneakers, you love building the collection. Hey, I want to find some sneakers at Plato's Closet or Ross, and then I can flip them to buy some more kicks for myself. You know, it's not really like extra money you need, but it's building the hobby up. Card sellers probably maybe do the same. Things you collect, so that'll be fun when like sneaker pickers. I'm retired, still be reselling for some money for the grandkids. There we go. All right, so business and hobby difference. Yeah, don't jump into anything crazy until you're ready. You gotta stay patient and paying off, whatever bills and things like that. Which leads on to our next one. Number 4. Let me get this going. Here it is. Number 4. Top 5 problems most resellers face today, or at least most common. Paying yourself. Now, this is a good question for the chat. I mean, do you have a set salary? More than likely, if you do, you might be running like an S corp or things like that. I know a lot of people sole proprietorship. Things are different there. I get so many questions regarding like, how did you pay your student loans? How much money should I put back into the capital? What should I do with the bills? How should I be paying that? How should I pay for myself or pay myself and support the family? Danny, that's tricky. It is tricky on what you should do there. Now, to grow the business, you need the capital. And for the most part, to gain that momentum and gain ground, you can't be buying dumb stuff. Not necessarily on the reseller side. This means your everyday lifestyle stuff. Your everyday, you wouldn't go in and buy brand new Jordans every drop for yourself and build a collection and expect to be dominating the reseller side or growing the business side if you're spending, money on random stuff, clothes, snacks, things like that aren't really needed. Now, you don't have to go to the opposite side to where I know Ken Momentum side did really well by just eating ramen noodles, which now that's not healthy. There's healthier options. But yes, you're not going to go out every night and go to the bar and spend a bunch of money on drinks, go to restaurants and spend money like crazy. I mean, a lot of this money should be going back to the business, and you're going to see that grow more and more. Dapper, still haven't paid myself anything. Exactly. Your expenses have to be close to cost of goods low key. As much as you try, if you don't pay yourself, your business, personal life will always intermingle, which is probably what I'm doing right now. It's always intermingling where that does get a little tricky. Even if you simple transfer a set amount every Friday from business checking account to personal checking account, sneaker pickers. And of course, like I have like the business card, the personal card, paying bills on the personal one. The business one is for different things, of course, for capital and spending more money on cost of goods and things like that. No Starbucks, Rory Matt. Definitely no Starbucks. That's like, you got to earn it if you want to get that. Unless someone give you a gift card for the holidays, and that's probably your only time you're going to get it. So in the chat, what do you feel about paying yourself and maybe even paying some of the bills? For me, I like to obviously have that money set for capital because you never know what kind of buy is going to come through, what kind of inventory can come through. And when I'm not using it for that, I'm doubling up on the bills. My car payment is super low. I have one car paid off. The other one, it's really low. It doesn't even, I should probably just pay it off at this point. And then the rest goes to the house. I really want to, well, I've been doing it, but doubling up sometimes tripling up on the house payment. Man, the interest rates, and I even got it at a good time. How is that now? Escrow and the interest and things that you'll never see. You know, they try to. I guess people say that if you want to buy a house, if you could pay it off in 10 years, then you have a lot of, I guess, options where to go from there. Renting that out, maybe looking into getting a different house. Maybe you're just paying the taxes and you're just fixing up that house. But to pay in 10 years is also discipline, work, consistency to get that down. Danny Intramore, these are going crazy. Weekend at Charlie Sheen's. Let me go back up and see. Glenn retired selling Dolphins on-field apparel and merch as his hobby. When my debt is off, I'll be throwing everything into houses principal. There you go, Rory Matt. Escrow is money you put away and don't pay that, Glenn. You should pay it off. Son, you pay way less interest. Escrow, when I first got that same check from the very beginning, I've just been that's what I've been doing, just putting that away over and over again. But it's just like when I see the breakdown though, I'm like, what? This is going here, that's going where? Interest going here? I'm like, oh man. But the good thing is we bought it at a good time. Pay off your house in 10 years, man, must be rich. I know. I mean, they want you to. That's what they say, to give you the best options, and people end up, buying more houses, looking into properties, things like that. That's extremely tough. Student loans is 10 years. They have you in a whole 10-year plan. So anything you can do to double down, and then the car payments are a different thing, right? I mean, I don't drive a nice car. It gets me to point A to point B and holds a good amount of USPS boxes. I don't have anything fancy and don't want anything fancy just because people drive like animals out here. You're going to get into a wreck or something random, or someone's just going to hit it. It always happens. You don't need an $80,000 BMW. Or do you? Okay, here's our last one. Our last one is... Let me put this away. And here we go. Bulk buying versus picking. Now, there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I really want to buy in bulk. I really want to get crazy inventory coming in every week. And honestly, the best thing you can do is to be a picker. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're not wasting money on bulk stuff that's not going to sell. I think you really have to you have to know what you're doing. And if not, it's not going to work out. I think people have this dream that, like, if I could only buy things in bulk, I could really grow this. And that's not necessarily true, because if you're a smart picker and you're going to the Ross, Burlington, all these stores that we know, and you're smart about it, you could never lose money if you're honestly just buying the right things. Now, I'm not saying every item's going to sell for a crazy high, like you're doubling every time. But if you're a smart picker, hey, I'm not going to lose money on this item. This is a smart buy. And you're not necessarily buying crazy stuff, 300, 500 pieces at a time. Both have its pros and cons. Bulk is great until you miss on something. They're both good and bad. But low cost of goods, picking the items that you want, that will sell, I can't see you losing on that. Bulk variety is a lot safer than bulk of one item. That's for sure. Sneaker pickers. You have to be extra picky now, just research and experience. Let's say this. Here's an example. I want to see what the chat thinks. So let's say I have 100 pairs of Nike shoes. I'm going to sell to one person in the chat. And let's say, what's a random price? What if I'm like, you know what? $35 a pair, you buy all 100. Or $50 a pair, and I'll let you choose which ones you want. What would you choose then? Those are your two options. All I'm telling you is that they're Nike. They're Nike men's. Let's put it that way. What would you do? One kick finder. What higher pickers pay 20 off Ross Burlington? $20 profit with more quantity all day. Interesting. Great, Danny. I'll choose sneaker pickers. Bulk is great until you buy a couple of pallets of laser disc players just before DVDs come out. And a lot of, you know why this is also a big question is because of the pallet buyers. Now that Inchamorph kind of brought that up. We've talked about this before. There's so many of these stores opening up every week. Amazon pallet returns. And I've even gotten the emails and DMs are like, how do I get into that? Do you know that's something that, you know someone that's into that? And local ones too, which I do. And even I don't want to touch that. I've seen what's in there. And it's a very tricky. Exactly, Danny. Very tricky with the pallets right now. I've seen, so one guy bought, this has to be one of the worst. He didn't even tell me how much he paid. One of the worst pallets I think I've seen. All of them, every single one of them ended up being broken. It was a toy pallet. And there was quite a bit of like remote control cars, that kind of thing. And people say, hey, they always sell pretty good, things like that. All of them were broken. None of them worked. He had to test all of them. Because he put this money into buying this pallet, of course. And I'm like, this is so risky. And if people are returning things to Amazon, it has to be for a reason. If something didn't work, of course there's some buyer's remorse in there that maybe they just didn't want it and it is good. But what does that percentage look like on that breakdown when it comes to these bulk pallets? I would rather choose, and if it makes sense for my business, I'm being a smart buyer, I would choose all day and be a picker on that sense and not be buying the bulk pallets. That's rough. Any comments on that? I think chat kind of stopped a little bit. Any comment, or maybe some people maybe you're doing that. I don't know. I guess that's another thing too, where you really have to know what you're doing. But those stores though, they've been opening up like crazy over here. Random, one of them already closed. So, have you ever thought of doing variety box / pallet from your access bulk items, Rodolfo? Yes and no. I guess I feel like, I mean, I have sold to some people in the community and some of the viewers and things like that when it comes to hats. I haven't sold any shoes on some of the hats, and a lot of the hats though I felt happy with it. I don't want to sell things that I'm like, hey, I'm dumping inventory, I can't sell it, you sell it, and they're just like okay items. I've sold great fitteds, great snapbacks at bulk that I feel that they can move as well. And I think we talked about this last week when I had another reseller, a local reseller was like, hey, I think you can do better with these hats. Do you want to buy them off of me? He made money on top. And I was like, yeah. And then I did that also from 2 or 3, I think, sellers. I don't know if they're in here right now watching, but that they could make some money on top. I made my money on top, and they can do the same. And they were great fitteds. They were great stuff. I wouldn't want to sell, I guess, some stuff that I didn't feel good on. So that's my only thing. I guess because there's so many, right? You get them all the time to where mystery box, and whether it's on Whatnot or just influencer stuff like that, I don't like that. Like, I just feel like, here we go, dumping inventory on a mystery box item, because if it was great, you would just sell it yourself. Why do we have to trick the community on buying stuff you don't want? Let me go back to One Kick Finder. Do you do bulk sales? There we go. I will do it if people really want or want something, if they have a certain niche. I guess in the hats or jerseys, shirts type of thing, but not really in shoes. I haven't really offered any shoe stuff. All of that has just been purely listed on eBay. Joanne, I agree what you're saying. If you get a pallet, everything is broken. What happens then? At least far as I know, with my friend that did that, he was just stuck with it. Nothing you can really do there. Final sale stuff. Better off going to the thrift store, spending your money that way. One Kick Finder. Pallet pop-up stores, only temporary. That overhead is gonna kill them. I agree, Swoop Man. Overhead on those insane. And just avoid getting stuck with a bulk buy of Dolphins merch. Hey, sneaker pickers. Can't research what you don't know until you buy it. That's what gets tricky. Picking is easier for control over inventory, but is there really enough available out there from picking alone to sustain a full-time income intramorph? That's a good question. I think before I was really buying in this bulk thing, I was doing full-time. But then again, I had some other incomes like YouTube, like merch by Amazon. So I guess I can't really say that I was really depending on just that. I think that if you are in a big city and you do have access to multiple stores, then just like me, one Nike outlet, that's really tough. If you have, I would say at least 3 Nike outlets, I think that's a really good. Obviously, Big Money Mo has at least 3. And then you can sprinkle in like the Burlingtons. But I think also in that end, I was also adding in the thrifting with the Plato's Closet and Uptown Cheapskate and all of those. So I still had that in the arsenal, which I don't now. So I would say yes if you're depending where you're located. No if you're in the middle of nowhere or you have really limited on store wise. But there's also some cities that they do great on garage sales, like and flea market stuff, and they're way better than stores. So that's also another option too. I mean, I was doing garage sales for at least like 3 straight years. I love the garage sale hustle. It's a different hustle. I like the negotiating, kind of like put things together. And for me now, obviously, like for you guys too, most of it's brand new items, which is also good. You're not like constantly cleaning items, refurbish. So that saves some time there. Don't sleep on estate sales. There we go. Sneaker pickers. So what I do like though is becoming a full-time seller, that you do have those options. That you don't have to just do retail arb. You can do the flea market garage sale stuff, and then you can still do the thrifting, Plato's Closet, those things. So there's some nice little options there. So you can find stuff in extra storage space when they do bids. Joanne, is FBA worth it for a reseller? I think FBA is worth it for a reseller, but you have to know what you're doing as well on there. I mean, Amazon's a different. Every platform is a different ball game. Every platform has different rules. But you're always gonna have people that are killing it on every platform. So I think everything is worth trying though, and see if you even like it first. All right. Anybody do storage wars out here? I did try it many years ago during that same garage sale phase, and I had no clue what was going on. I was like, okay, so this could be what? Like, what is in here? And then bids start going up. I'm like, that's almost like our pallet thing. We don't know what you're gonna get. Baker brand, but the ones that are in it and they know what they're doing, they're the ones that are gonna be profitable. Appreciate that, Baker brand. Here we go. Man, that was it. And we're right on time for the hour. Anything else before we go? Any questions, Q&A stuff before we go? Antiques not good or Beanie Babies nothing now. Looking for a second property to store inventory instead of storage lockers. I like that, sneaker pickers. I've thought about the same. You need those yard sales and thrift. Whoa. So your Ross floods don't affect you, Rory Matt. Looking at the profits, people would brag about storage wars. I was like, no thanks. Sneaker pickers. How's the baby? She just yelled right now. She's like, ah. Baby woke up today she needed a bottle at 3:49 a.m. And my wife gets up and does that, helps her. I try to go back to sleep. Of course, I got to get up ready to ship and get the items out of the storage and do all that. We have a nice team thing that we're doing right now, and it's been working well. But baby either sleeps through the night, wakes up at about 6, maybe wakes up at 3, maybe gets up 4. We don't know. Hours up, Bobs. There we go. Intramorph. That's an hour before I get up. Sneaker pickers. There we go. So I just began reselling, and with the payouts and stuff, how much or what percentage should I be reinvesting into product? So I would be reinvesting all that I can into products to keep that going. So that means paying yourself less, or you're paying what you need to get. Like, you should never skip out on like the groceries, the bills, the necessities get paid. Everything else goes back into the capital if you can do that. Not everybody can. There's other things that come into play. But the more you have to spend on the capital, the more you will see the results. I held on to money. That was not a lot of money or anything, but I held on to money just there. And that's when Ken was like, why aren't you reinvesting? Like, that's the only way we're going to see some stuff grow. And of course I did. And that's when I started to see, just some stuff snowball. West Coast, good to see you. How big is the storage unit? I have 3 storage units right now. I have like a small, medium, large. That's the way I look at it. The large one that I do have is a 20 by 20. And then I have a 20 by 10. And then a 10 by 10, I believe. Those are the 3 I'm in right now. Let me see. If you need 1x for living, then aim for 4 or 5x to be safe. Your products also equal assets and can dump for cost, worst case scenario. I agree, Danny. Especially the brand new items. I mean, not saying all pre-owned are not seen as assets, which they should if they're good. But brand new with tags always wins, right? I mean, whether it's shoes, clothing, you'll find someone to buy brand new with tags. Dump everything into sales, Rory Matt. So do you have to run out to the storage unit every time something sells? So for my schedule, I go to the storage unit either once or twice a day, depending on how many sales came in. So I just have to keep track of what sold on what platform, and then I'll make that trip. Let me see, 20 by 20, more than $500 out there. My 20 by 20, I did a 12-month, so I can get the best deal possible. I don't remember how much I paid though on the 20 by 20. My storage is my guest room, so no one's staying in there anytime soon. Rory Matt. Yeah, anytime you cannot have to get storage unit and or warehouse, things like that, no overhead, the better for you and the better numbers. If you have the room for it at your own house, that's the best case scenario. All right. Looks like we are done. Oh, last question. Doing this in a big city, what's the best way to create relationships? Ross Burlington Connects feels like an adjustment from Foot Locker Shoe Palace employees. Even my Foot Locker and Champs and Shoe Palace and even those connects, they come and go very quickly. Yeah. Turnaround ratio is pretty insane when it comes to those stores and Ross and Burlington. And so that's also a tough thing too. And Nike outlets, I would say the thing. I mean, it's always good to have those relationships there, but just keep in mind they can quit anytime, and that always happens very frequently. But the best way is just to be yourself, go in every day or every time you go to these stores, say hi, be friendly. And even if you do go more and more, don't get a big head, don't think you know everything, don't tell anybody off. And I think that the more and more they see you and that friendly face, start the small talk, go from there. Are your storages climate control? Yes. They have to be. It's 106 out there. My shoes would unglue and melt out there, and I was like, man, these have to be climate. I mean, I wish I didn't, obviously, because you could save a little bit more, but yeah, they are, right now is out of control, huh? Sweating like an animal. Yeah, shoes be melting in El Paso, Danny, 100%. Okay, next week we're gonna have Ken back, and he's gonna tell us what he learned out there. I'm interested. You are gonna ask him, what are people asking him? Because he's been, I think, kind of like a little table leader, kind of like, giving out some advice. What are the resellers asking him? That's what I want to know. What do they need help on right now? Have you thought about moving into a house with a big basement? We don't really have any basements here in El Paso. If we do, they're very tiny. Compared to like Cincinnati, like where Ken is, man, that basement's dope. That's what we need. Big basement. Great show, Rodolfo. Appreciate that. Counselor Ken. Sneaker Fakers. Yep, 100%. All right. We are done. Thank you again. Go out and get it, and I will see you on... I'm going to get a video for Friday. All right, see ya.